Foxborough went into this draft with no room to hesitate, and that first punch changed the entire feel of this class for New England. This was not a pick made to satisfy an impatient fan base. It was a pick made to protect the plan, toughen up the line, and send a message that Drake Maye is not getting left out there to burn again. But with that decision came new pressure, new debate, and a real sense that bigger moves could be coming in the next few hours. If you felt that too, hit that like button and stay with me. A lot of people saw the Caleb Lomu pick and let out that frustrated sigh right away. I get it. Late first round, fans want juice, they want a name that shakes the room, and New England goes offensive line again. But that is exactly where rushed reactions start getting this thing wrong. Because the Patriots did not walk out of night one chasing a flashy headline. They walked out thinking about survival, stability, and what this offense has to become if they are serious about not wasting Drake Maye's talent. And once you go back to the tape and watch Caleb Lomu against David Bailey, the conversation changes. This stops being about some boring prospect filling a spot. Now we are talking about a tackle who already showed, against one of the most respected pass rushers in this class, that he does not panic against power, does not lose his base easily, and knows how to answer when the matchup gets violent. That matters in the AFC East, because it is not just about improving your own line. It is also about looking at a rival and saying, yeah, they nailed that guy. If Lomu can handle that level of talent, New England is already taking one problem off the board before it gets bigger. And the strongest part of this pick is not even just 2026. It is the message for what comes next. Morgan Moses still has value. He can still teach, still stabilize things, still help bridge that transition. But his contract already pushes this franchise toward a future decision, and the Patriots chose not to wait until the house starts shaking. If Lomu develops the way they believe he can, he gets to learn now, grow inside the system, and eventually take over as the natural successor. And if the left side gets messy again because of Will Campbell, then suddenly this team has protection there too. That is not overkill. That is smart roster building. So no, I am not buying the idea that this was some lifeless pick. To me, this is emotion too. Seeing Foxborough stop playing games with the future of its quarterback matters. Seeing this franchise attack the problem before the collapse matters. And I will say it flat out. If this kid brings to Sundays what he showed against Bailey on tape, the Patriots' offensive line is already starting to breathe with a whole different kind of authority. It is funny how the draft does this to a fan base. The second a 5'9" corner gets linked to New England, half the room slams the brakes. And with D'Angelo Pons, that reaction is definitely coming. Because the talent pops, the production pops, the fit pops, but the size jumps out too. Still, if the Patriots really are looking at him at 63, this would not be some blind leap. This would be a bet on competitiveness, instincts, and versatility in a part of the defense that might need a sharp piece sooner than people think. Josh Edwards from CBS Sports connected New England to the Indiana corner ahead of day 2, and that did not come out of nowhere. Pons was a major piece on a national championship defense. He played real football on a real stage. 60 tackles, 10 pass breakups, 2 picks, and a forced fumble. That is not background noise, that is impact. And here is the part I keep coming back to. When analysts start comparing a profile to someone like Trent McDuffie, it is not because they are trying to be cute. It is because they see a smaller defender who is aggressive, smart, and flexible enough to survive outside or over the slot. Now yes, the concern is real. The NFL will test every inch of this guy. Bigger receivers are going to lean on him. Quarterbacks are going to attack size matchups. Offensive coordinators will go hunting if they think they found a weak spot. But that brings up the more honest question for Patriots fans. Do you want height on paper, or do you want a corner who can actually play? Because there are plenty of bigger defensive backs who look great getting off the bus and disappear once the route breaks. Pons, based on what he showed in college, plays bigger than he measures. That matters. What really stands out to me here is what Mike Vrabel may want this defense to become. A unit that is not stuck with static pieces. A defense that can shift alignments, move bodies around, answer modern formations without looking stiff or outdated. If Pons can give you that, he is not walking in as a patch job. He is walking in as a tool. And good tools do not sit on the bench in a defense trying to compete. So if the Patriots use 63 on him, I am not reading it as a luxury pick. I am reading it as a calculated swing on instincts, production, and flexibility. Sometimes the pick that makes fans uncomfortable at first is the exact one that tells you the front office is seeing a layer of the roster most people have not caught yet. There are situations in the NFL where a team denies something in public, but the roster itself starts telling a different story. And the Giants' pass rush room feels like one of those situations. Because once you spend another premium pick on an edge and stack Arvell Reese next to Abdul Carter and Brian Burns, while still holding Kayvon Thibodeaux, the question stops being whether there is too much talent in that room. The question becomes this: who gets squeezed, and how long can that stay intact before it turns into a market move? That is why I look at this Thibodeaux possibility and think the Patriots have to monitor it. Not because the trade is lined up, not because the Giants already made up their minds, but because the logic is getting tighter. Adam Schefter reported that the Giants do not intend to trade him this offseason. Fine. But the NFL lives on controlled messaging, and public messaging does not always match real roster pressure or cap pressure. The heavy detail here is the money. Thibodeaux is set to play 2026 on a fully guaranteed fifth-year option worth $14.7 million. If New York moves him now, that money comes off the books. And for a team that is not exactly swimming in cap space, still has an expensive rookie class to sign, and now has other priorities up front, that changes everything. From New England's side, the fit comes together almost too easily. The Patriots were aggressive to move up and get Caleb Lomu, solved a big chunk of the offensive line issue, and still kept enough ammo from round 2 through round 7. On top of that, they are one of the teams with real cap space. So unlike a lot of franchises, Foxborough can step into a conversation like this without tearing itself apart. And when you look at the need, it gets even louder. Edge rusher was one of the clearest problem areas on this roster, and so far the team still has not made a truly transformational move there. Swapping Draymond Jones for Kayvon Thibodeaux and Anthony Jennings changes the room. It does not raise the ceiling of the room. Thibodeaux would. And he would do it in a very specific way. He is 25, he plays all 3 downs, he sets the edge against the run, and he gives you the kind of player you can extend and build around. This is not a pure development bet. This is an investment in a ready-made piece for the heart of your defense. So now the question gets sharp. If that door really cracks open, do the Patriots have to kick it wide open, or do they keep waiting for the end of round 2 to deliver something close to that kind of impact? To me, this is exactly the type of opportunity that separates a careful team from an ambitious one. The second Caleb Lomu got announced, a lot of people did not just freeze because it was another offensive lineman. They froze because the pick instantly brought the Will Campbell conversation right back to life. And honestly, I think the debate got unfair to the Patriots' plan in a hurry. One thing is saying the roster still needed more help and protection. It did. That part is obvious. But turning that into an automatic verdict on the left tackle they have already been backing, that is a different thing. Eliot Wolf was direct after the pick, and I like that. No dancing around it, no feeding the drama. Will Campbell is still the left tackle, period. And that answer matters more than people think. When Wolf says Caleb has versatility, that he worked on the right side during Pro Day, and that the team feels comfortable with that, the message is not confusion. The message is preparation. New England did not make this move blindly. They made it with fit, succession, and roster security in mind. Morgan Moses is still the veteran who can hold things down right now, guide the rookie, pass along technique, experience, and routine. At the same time, Lomu now has a clear runway to grow without being thrown straight into the fire before he is ready. And here's the part I really love about this reading. A lot of franchises respond to problems after the damage is already done. The Patriots are trying to get there before that point. If Moses does his job in 2026 and Lomu absorbs that transition, this team could head into 2027 with right tackle already solved instead of scrambling through the market. That is serious team building. That is thinking 2 steps ahead. And there is more to it. If Campbell settles in on the left side, great. Then the line gets stronger at both tackle spots. If he does not, the roster is no longer stuck without an answer. So no, this pick does not create chaos. It lowers risk. That is why I see people calling this a boring pick, and honestly think that is way too shallow. Drake Maye does not just need highlights around him. He needs time. He needs a clean pocket. He needs the trust to climb and throw without feeling the play die before it even starts. If New England is really building that wall piece by piece, this might end up mattering a whole lot more than people realized in the heat of draft night. Now I want the Patriots Nation call on this one. Are you buying the Lomu vision as the natural right-side successor and extra protection for the whole project? Or do you still think New England should have attacked another position with more aggression? At the end of the day, what Foxborough did to open this draft sent a very clear message. The Patriots are not building this roster to look bold for one night. They are trying to build a team that lasts. Caleb Lomu reinforces that. D'Angelo Pond shows up as a real value and attitude possibility. Kayvon Thibodeaux represents the temptation of a massive jump if the market really opens up. And Eliot Wolf made sure to lock the foundation in place by saying exactly where Will Campbell still stands. If you live this team the way we do, subscribe to the channel and drop your take in the comments, because this is a place where Patriots Nation actually has a voice.